Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 89 of Lady K Sailing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
89 episodes. So this week, we've been in lockdown, isolation, coronavirus, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, where's my mask? Get away from me.
Yeah,
Social
well,
distance.
no, if you have it, I have it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, we're good. We haven't been able to do work on the boat yet. We're actually just starting that right now. If you guys follow us on Facebook, you'll see that Candace was there scrubbing off the Erie Canal Smile. So that's coming. What chemicals she used and all that kind of stuff is coming. But this week's episode, we're actually going to just talk to another cruiser. We're going to do a sort of a FaceTime Zoom sort of meeting with another cruiser who's in Florida right now, who's been cruising for like 9 years on a 27-foot boat and going to the Bahamas every single year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild.
Jealous.
Yeah, yeah. His name is Wes. He's from the Salted Hippie. The link will be in in the description. He's been killing it for 9 years, going all over the place, living in the Keys. It's really cool. I know it is a bit long, so it's going to be like a 45-minute long video. I'm sorry if you're into. We talk about solar panels. We talk about hull design. We talk about keels. We talk about the Nature's Head. We talk about everything, but it is a long video, and if you don't want to watch it, I'm sorry, don't watch it.
We talk about the tacos.
We do talk about tacos, and we talk about cruising and the life of cruising and sort of what it's like. And in the Bahamas, we talk a lot about that.
I do have to. I wasn't in the video much. I did pop in for a kiss break here and there, and to say hi to Wes. I was busy making masks, as you guys know. I'm a seamstress, so I was busy killing it doing that, trying to give back to the community and getting groceries and stuff because somebody's got to feed this guy.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, so 45 minutes. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you don't want to watch it for that long, I'm sorry. Don't watch it. Always check out Wes's channel, The Salted Hippie. There's a link. And if you want to see more, just hit the subscribe button.
That's right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Tim here from Lady K Sailing. I'm talking to Wes from The Salted Hippie.
Yes, I'm 27 foot on the boat. It is small, and there's a lot of luxuries I don't have compared to a 50-foot boat, of course. I also don't have the expenses. So
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good.
Looking for a clip to get this sunscreen out of the way.
All right.
There we
Well,
go.
the pains of being in Florida right now, I think.
Yeah, it's in the 80s.
It's in the 80s, man. We're in
Nice and sunny. Little breezy, about 15 knots.
We can actually see your boat is pivoting right now. I can see a trawler or sport fisher there in the background.
That's here, hold on just a sec. Boot Key Harbor.
Boot Key Harbor in Florida, in the Keys. Look at all the boats. Holy moly. That's insane.
I guess there's probably 200, 250 boats here at the moment.
Wow. That's...
A lot of them are here year-round.
Yeah.
Some of them are here because they have nowhere else to go right now.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really go anywhere right now. So I heard, and I guess I follow... well, okay, let's start at the top here. So Candace and I, if you guys watch... I mean, we're going to air this on both channels. So from the Lady K Sailing side, Candace and I met Wes in the Bahamas last year on our way down to Georgetown. And
right. I believe it was in Staniel Key right at Christmas time.
Yeah, in Staniel Key, which is where you want to be for Christmas, I think, and for New Year's.
Yeah, I agree with that. That little Christmas, New Year's stretch in Staniel Key is an awesome place to be.
Yeah. So we met Wes, and we traveled together for months anyway, and hung out together, and went on adventures together, and invaded lighthouses together.
And it was like April when we left Bimini, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was
sometime in April. So yeah, hung out like 4 months.
Pretty wild time. So obviously, Candace and I are back in Canada, and it's 40. What did she say? 42 degrees here right now, and you're in the 80s in the Florida Keys. during isolation, because we can't really go anywhere because of the coronavirus, and we can't really watch TV because it's an election year. So we're all kind of stuck, with nothing to do. I mean,
It's
I
an
guess give
Alvin
us your
Vega.
story.
Okay. It's an Alvin Vega 27. I woke up one day and was suddenly divorced again and wanted to know what I was going to do in life a long time before I got married. I was going to teach scuba diving in the Keys and live on a sailboat. I decided I didn't want to teach scuba diving anymore, but living on a sailboat and enjoying life, that sounded good to me. So started shopping out at 41 foot, 40, somewhere in that neighborhood on boats, and the housing market crashed 10, 12 years ago. I ended up on a 27 and have not looked back.
Nice. So,
I originally had 235 watts Kyocera solar panels. I didn't have a fridge or anything. And that was more than enough for watching TV, internet browsing, and all that stuff until about 5 really cloudy days in a row.
what was the total wattage? You had two 135s?
I had two 135s, so I had 270. I decided, I'm missing out on a lot of the fish when I'm cruising and stuff because I just don't have the refrigeration and storage for it. So I'm changing that. Currently have one Norcold box. I changed and went from the 270, and I'm going to pull the phone off again here in a moment.
All right.
I changed from the 270
You're going to show us the panel.
that I had Kyocera, and I currently have a Renogy 300 on top of my tower. I put a tower in a couple of years ago, and I'm going to flip you and let you look at that for a moment.
Yeah, look at that. Like, is that aluminum?
That is aluminum. It's
Yeah.
on an aluminum frame with aluminum stringers under the solar panel. And what happened was I went from 270. The 300 is a smaller footprint, and it weighed 15 pounds less.
Oh, wow.
So both of those factors are going to give me room to put a wind generator as backup for whenever I have those 5 cloudy days that it's windy but not sunny.
Can we see the arch again? Can you give us like a slow pan of the arch?
Yeah, give me a second. There.
All right.
Hopefully I won't hit that power button again.
Yeah, don't hit the power button. Yeah, look at it. It's like, what is that? Like 3-inch tubular aluminum?
It's one inch 940. It's 1.5 inches schedule 40 tubing. And I'm going to go ahead and plug them. I have no residual coming back from them or anything. But Fish on Sports, for my size boat or anything similar, Fish on Sports has the best deal. Gotta fix this.
And the boat's a
On
20.
solar power.
It's a 27-foot boat. What's the beam at the back?
Right there where the mounts in is around 5. So they have, if you buy their smallest tower on an Alvin Vega, it works perfectly. And they can get in touch with me and drop me an email, and I'll give them what I realized and what pointers are.
Okay.
I was worried forever, and it's why it took me 7 years to actually put one on, is I thought it would be way overpowering for the boat
Yeah.
visually.
And
Plus,
weight-wise,
it weighs 75
I'm
pounds
sure, too.
itself.
Okay.
But what I found out was during Irma, I pulled everything off the bimini, threw everything down below, cut the canvas off of this, taped everything down so we could get through Irma. And luckily, St. Pete didn't get hit so bad that I survived.
Okay.
So it was an opportune time to go ahead and put that tower up.
Okay.
It was at that time fluctuating anywhere between $650 and $800, depends on whether it was on sale or not. I think it's currently $899. Don't know their current sale schedules, but usually it's $150 off if they do put it on sale. So for $750, whereas you're looking at Atlantic Towers, you're looking at $1,800.
Yeah.
And it's oversized. You're going to have to cut the legs off of it. You're going to have to cut the center section out of it. Why bother with all that when you can save $1,200 and not have to do all that modification?
Right. Okay, so you're on a 27-foot boat,
Correct.
and
It's a 27-foot
Alvin Vega. Okay,
Put
and
the,
you've
power cord back in before y'all disappear again.
yeah. Okay, and
Right.
you've outfitted it with solar. Well, I think we'll get back to the solar. On the and you live in the Keys. You're on a 27-foot boat.
Yes.
But you've been to the Bahamas. How many seasons have you gone to the Bahamas every single season, consecutively?
Well, I've been to the Bahamas 3 seasons. I spent a total of 12 months over there total.
Okay. So it's sort of your yearly plan now is to spend
Right.
the winter in
I'm
the
hoping
Bahamas.
to be in a position of where I can go over somewhere between 3 and 6 months a year and
Yeah.
come back, work for a little lunch money, and go do it again.
Right. And you're doing it on a 27-foot boat. What year is the boat?
1973.
1973 sailboat, and you go to the Bahamas every year now.
Yeah. Either I've missed 2 years while my kids were in high school. I stayed in St. Pete. Other than that, I've been either down here into the Keys or down here to the Keys and the Bahamas.
Okay. All right. And you can afford to do this how? Like, this is everybody's dream, right? Is to be able to go to the Bahamas for several months a year, every year, and you're doing it.
Staying within your means.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
I've told everybody for the last 10 years that my cell phone is my bill.
Yeah.
Because I don't have, I no longer have the house to worry about, the cars to worry about, any of that stuff. So my cell phone is my bill. Help out the kids when I can, take care of that. Staying here in Boot Key Harbor, I'll have to pay, it's $230 give or take for an anchorage and all the marina facilities, or $340 if you're going to be on a mooring ball. And during hurricane season, I'll take a mooring ball and have a little bit extra protection, unless I have to take the boat and run.
Okay.
So,
I think
that's the biggest deal, getting rid of everything that you don't have to have.
Yeah.
So that you can actually have what you want.
Yeah, the important stuff. Like a good anchor and a good backyard and food and rum. Really.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I've got 1,000 questions, right? From a cruising point of view, because I've been asked these questions on YouTube. And I'm sure you have too. So before we get to the important meat questions.
Before we get to there, let's give Lady K a rundown real quick.
Okay.
Got you and Candace on it.
Yeah.
And let's go from there.
Okay, a couple years ago, well, like in my life, like 10 years ago, I decided, like, fuck this, I don't want to be part of the machine anymore. I'd like to go and do something that I actually enjoy doing. And Candace and I got together, and we bought this boat. We bought Lady K, 35-foot Hughes, or in America, in the U.S. it was known as a North Star 1500. But in Canada, it's known as a Hughes. Same plant, same stamp, same everything. Sold everything we owned, and we split. Went down, through the Erie Canal, through the Great Lakes, through the Erie Canal, down the eastern seaboard. And then to the Bahamas, and bombed around in the Bahamas for a while. And then made our way back. We're back in the Great Lakes now. So we're not done, obviously, but we had our first round. And now we're like, what's next? But we gained a lot of experience in solar and, I guess, sailboats and how to sail and how to travel for long periods. We became diesel mechanics. We became solar experts. We became Nature's Head composting toilet experts. So I guess that's one of the other questions, right, that we both know a lot about is not just solar and traveling and all this stuff, but Nature's Head and anchors and anchor chain, and like the questions are going to be nonstop, right? Like any possible subject, we both have a lot of experience on it, and I think we can both say we've been on the hook during a hurricane.
I ran to shore, but my boat was on the hook during the hurricane.
Okay.
I spent the night in the motel.
Yeah, which is
I spent the night in the other half of my family's condo, so.
Which probably saved you 10 years of your life, because I've never been on the hook in a hurricane. I've been on the hook on the edge of a hurricane, which was.
We got lucky. Irma went in short, so. But it was one of those things. It was so stressful. You're sitting there watching the news, and as it went through here in Marathon and absolutely devastated the area, it started going up the west coast of Florida, and I'm watching the news, going, oh no. And then what happened was about mile marker 0 on the West Coast Intercoastal Waterway, it decided it was going to stay inshore.
Oh, shit.
It was going to stay on land.
Right.
And I looked at everybody else and was like, I'm going to bed. I'm burned out. I'm tired. And that was just from prepping the boat for 2 days and watching the news. I was thoroughly exhausted.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, you know how long it, well, you do obviously know how long it takes to take the Dodger, the Bimini, the sails off. Taking sails off seems like an easy job until there's a hurricane coming and you have to take
Or
everything
you
off.
add a stack pack and jack lines and everything else to it,
Yeah.
and then it's like all that other stuff you got to
Yeah.
do. So you can't just slide the sail out. You got to take the stack pack out, and you
Yeah.
got to take the sail out. Then you got to finish taking the stack pack out.
Yeah.
So the more you make it home, cruiser friendly, to
Mhm.
where all these conveniences you add,
Yeah.
it makes spontaneous oh my god moments more difficult.
Okay, so what are you running for a ground tackle? What's the ground tackle on your? You have a 27-foot boat. Okay, let's.
I have a
I guess
27-foot boat.
let's go back a step. Let's go back a step. What does this boat weigh?
This boat weighs, the way I've got it loaded down for cruising, probably 8,500 pounds.
8,500. Okay. So what's your
I
ground
think
tackle?
I think empty it's probably 57 to 6.
Okay.
And
So it's a heavy boat for its size. It's a very heavy boat for its size. Because usually a 27-footer would be like 3,500 pounds, but you're double that. But it's because you have a full keel.
I have a full keel.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm laden like a cruiser.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the ground tackle? What's the chain? What's the anchor?
Okay. What I currently have is one size up from what I started with. No, actually, that's incorrect. What I currently have is the same anchor that's always been on this boat since I've owned it. It's a 35-pound Manson Supreme.
Okay.
That's the most important thing to tell everybody. It doesn't have to be a Manson. It needs to be a Manson, a Rottner, a Spade, any of the other modern style, scoop style anchors.
So you're saying next generation anchors.
What's that?
Next generation anchors is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, the current generation anchors have been around for 10 years.
Yeah. So this generation of anchor is the anchor to use.
So that, and I have 110, give or take, feet of 5/16 high test chain, followed by 200 feet of 5/8 line. That's my main anchoring route.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I have two backups after that on this little boat.
Wait. Can we go back to the line?
25. Go ahead.
Can we go back to the line? What is the line made out of? Is it poly or is it nylon?
It's
Deep.
nylon.
Yes.
It's a mega plate, which is an 8 or a 12 braid.
Sorry,
So
it's
it's not
probably
too
loud
big
on my
strand. I
end.
went with the mega plate because it lays down in the box and takes up less room.
I think the important thing there is nylon stretches,
Right.
which is important for an anchor line. I mean, for your standing or for your running rigging to control your sails, you want no stretch. But for your anchor, you want stretchy line because it pulls the shock out of it when the boat bucks up and down in the waves. The nylon will absorb that shock and not yank the anchor out of the ground. And that's an important thing that maybe people don't think about. Maybe people don't realize when you're anchoring, you need a little bit of give in the anchor line so that there's not, like if you use polyester like sailing rope, it would just yank the anchor out of the ground.
That's right. And while we're backed up, a couple of the little accessories that I have is I have a Mantis swivel.
Yes.
Because most of the swivels are designed to be the weak link. The Mantis swivel that I have on here is stronger than my 5/16 chain. It also use a Mantis chain hook and 3-strand line as an anchor snubber when I'm sitting on all chain.
Can you
That way
explain?
I don't have that jerk.
Can you explain what a chain hook is?
It's this.
Okay. And what does that do?
It's
What's
like
that for?
spare. I just happen to have it stuck in the corner over there.
As a
The
cruiser,
chain slides
what is that?
into it. And this is a secure hold. There's multiples out there. This was Mantis's first version of making a chain hook. I think some people overloaded their boats by trying to buy a smaller chain hook than they needed, and so they may have had a couple of failures. I haven't got any details on that. They redesigned the new one. I like mine. It's big and it's bulky. And then from there, you run a V line, one line to each front cleat. And what you do is you allow your chain to sag between the hook and your boat, so that when your boat pulls in a gust of wind, like it's kind of gusty today, it pulls on those lines, and you got a little bit of shock between you and the anchor, instead of the chain going bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
and slowly dragging the anchor through the line or through whatever the bottom is until it pulls free.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I didn't have. I guess on the other side of that, I didn't have a chain hook. So what I did was I would pay out my anchor, and then I would set my anchor at 5-1 or 7-1 or 3-1,
Right.
depending on where I was. And then once it was set, I would tie a nylon line to it, like actually tie it to the
Right.
chain, and
Like
then
you
let
did.
out more chain and use the nylon line as my
Same
snubber.
principle.
But you had a hook, so you didn't have to tie it because you have this hook. You can just
Right.
hook it on the chain. There's no tying it on, which is actually a really big deal. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is actually a really big deal when you're anchoring. And when you go to tie the line to the anchor chain, you have to lean through the bow rail to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the
Well,
hook is
I still
incredible.
lean through the bow rail.
Yeah. Yeah, but you
I
just
still
hook it
lean through the
on.
bow rail.
I had to tie a bow line.
Right. When I'm in cruising mode and doing island hops and stuff like that, I'll leave the lines attached to the cleats.
Okay.
I'll pull the chain in until I pull the anchor hook off. And I don't have a windlass, so all of mine is hand over hand pulling all the anchor and chain in. And when I get the anchor up, I put the chain hook over top of the anchor so that it doesn't hit on the bow of the boat.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Places.
Yeah, so every time I pulled my anchor up, I had to actually tie another bow line to tie the anchor down.
Right.
So you had this chain hook that just clips on the chain and it makes everything easier.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about toilets.
What is that?
Toilets.
Toilets.
Yeah.
I think we're both on the same page. Nature's hand.
Yeah, Nature's Head. 100%. Are you happy with it? We're
For
recording.
people in a small boat like mine, hi, Candace.
Hey, buddy.
For people in a small boat like mine, you didn't think we'd still be talking, did you?
No, I did actually.
We're actually recording. We're recording a YouTube video now.
Okay.
We've decided to do that.
Jeez.
Okay, so the Nature's Head, you have it, we have it.
The only negative I have on it is you feel like a bird on a wire, depending on your layout of your boat.
Yeah, it is.
It's 4 inches, maybe 4.5 inches higher than a normal head. So it puts you
Yeah.
really high, puts you up near the ceiling of the head.
Yeah,
Agreed.
100%. Yeah, yeah. It is. It is not actually designed for a boat, but the height of the thing is sort of its saving grace because that's how it works. It has all the things going on under it to make it work. So, in terms of the positives, are you happy that you have it? Like,
Oh yeah,
does it work?
it sure be nice if it was $100 instead of $1,000 for the time
Yeah.
everything was done.
I feel you.
But
But do you regret buying it for $1,000?
But when the Coast Guard and FWC and the other agencies walk up, I'm like, I got a composting bin. You know, there's no handle, there's no hose, there's no tool haul. You know, and because of that, when I had the boat hauled out earlier, a couple of months ago, I glassed through all of my through holes.
Right. It's one last chance for the boat to sink, and as we
And
know
part
on
of
our
that was
channel.
from you guys.
Yeah, as we know on our
I'm
channel.
like, yeah, I definitely need to do this.
Yeah. So, does it smell?
No, I don't have any issues with it. I mean, bottom line is, it's somebody breaks wind, somebody goes to the toilet, there's the initial thing, and that's it. Because it dries out in the composting piece.
Exactly. Yeah. We had the same experience. There's no smell. The one thing we did have, so you can run, what is it? You can run peat moss or you can run coconut coir. Those are the two things
Right.
you're supposed to run in those.
I've got coconut, haven't tried the other.
Yeah, we had peat moss when we originally left because that's sold heavily where we're from. Peat moss is easy to get. You can buy it in bricks. The problem with
The
peat,
secret, if I can give it, I'll share it with everybody right now. The secret for coconut coir is the pet store in the lizard section.
yeah, I heard that.
Every Home Depot and every Lowe's in the country says, yes, we can get it for you. It'll take a few days. Go to the pet store and buy it.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, pet store. We ran peat moss for the first, year and a half, I think. And that's how we got bugs. So peat moss generates drain flies. Like,
I haven't had any bugs yet.
no, with peat moss, we got a lot of that. We got a lot of harmless. They don't bite you. They're not. Like, they're just irritating and they're gross. But we got a lot of drain flies with peat moss. We switched to coconut coir. No problem after that. So and
Very, very solid. Unless we pushed it.
yeah, unless we pushed the not emptying the solids container, but yeah, with coconut coir, it was worlds better. So anybody who's going to buy one of these things, coconut coir, don't use peat moss.
Right. And then the other thing was, one thing you don't have is the mixing of
Liquids and solids.
well, you don't have the mixing in the holding tanks.
Exactly.
Urine is what keeps everything stirred up and smelling bad because it won't let anything dry out. It keeps it solvent so that it just does nothing but vaporize.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a boat that had a normal holding tank system where you couldn't smell it? You know that smell, that sailboat smell or that powerboat smell?
Yeah.
Because they have a holding tank. I can smell it in every single boat I go in. We talked about the anchor. We talked about the toilet. You're also going to do wind generation for power.
Right.
What's up with that?
Okay. Altogether, to touching back on the solar, is I showed you the solar arch. I'm also going to have another 300 panel, and it's not there yet. And maybe we'll do this again once I get it built.
Yeah.
I'll put it on a slide so that I can push it from being centered on the cabin out to one side, out from under the boom while I'm anchored and enjoying life. And whenever it's time to go to another spot, I just slide it back in on top of the cabin and lock it down. That way there's no issues while I'm moving out and about. That'll be another 300. So I'm going to have 600 watts of solar on a 27-foot boat.
That's a lot.
You could actually make 900 watts, but I don't foresee me needing it. If two people were on here watching TV 24/7, had a refrigerator and a freezer, and wanted an electric cooking stove, I could see that being 900, and I'll tell them how to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I'm staying at 600. I've lived on that 270 for years. What I found is that after 5 long gray days in the winter, and I may not have that with 600, but after 5 long gray days in the winter, I was running short on the 275.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a wind on, and the wind is only there as secondary.
Yeah.
It's there for when it's windy and cloudy and stuff, and it's there for, let's say I wanted to spend all day today sanding on the boat, because I still need to sand my top side. I got the holes painted and stuff, but I still need to sand the top side. I can burn all that stuff, and it's blowing 15 tonight. I can still generate power overnight and not worry about it. That's why the wind.
I think
we had put wind disc first.
No, wind's not first. No, of course not.
Wind is never first. As much solar as you can put on and be safe. Then, if you have room for wind and you still need a little bit, go for that.
Yeah, maximize solar. Absolutely, maximize solar. I think we were down there when you were on 275. We were on 550, and we're talking about watts for anybody who doesn't understand solar. He had 275 watts. We had 550 watts. And when we ran out, we didn't have wind. We had a little portable generator, like 2,000 watt generator, and we would have to run that about once a week for, 2 hours every week, and that was plenty. That's enough to supply. The thing about that is it supplies 120 volt service to your boat, and that 120 volt service powers your shore charger. And we had a 30 amp shore charger, and then an individual clamp on West Marine 50 amp charger, or a 30 amp charger. So we ran 50 amps wide open with that generator running, and we had to do that about once a week, run both chargers, and so 550, while it was enough, wasn't enough. And we were making YouTube videos the whole time. Like, we had the desktop computer, we had I think the power supply in the desktop is 850 watts. Like, it's a powerful desktop for video editing to make YouTube videos, and the solar 550 watts was not enough for that. It was enough, and mind you, we had the fridge and the freezer running the whole time. But now you're installing a freezer, and this is why you're upgrading to make this freezer work, and you're upgrading to 600 watts.
Correct. 600 watts plus the wind gen. The wind gen is a 400 watt unit, but it's still not making any good power until it hits 15 knots on the wind.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything else till then is a trickle charge.
And then where does it top out? Like 22, 23 knots it tops out?
It's supposed to cut out at like 28 on this one.
Okay.
Which is 400 watts, and then the 13 volts is what?
Yeah.
32 or something like that.
Yeah.
Amps. I doubt it would actually make 32, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're sitting there in a 30 knot blow worrying about your wind generator. You look down at the gauge once to find out what's going on, and then you go turn it off so it doesn't self-disintegrate.
I think there's something to be said for this conversation that we're having right now about electricity. So cruising is not easy. I think we'd both agree.
Right.
It's not easy.
It's a choice. It's a dedicated choice. But for me personally, I've been happiest I could be my whole life over the last 10 years.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Cruising is the best thing I've ever done with my life. The happiest thing ever. But it is not an easy thing to do. And it's not easy because life is harder. So I think the point...
You don't walk out into the garage and drive to the store.
Yeah. So I think the point I'm trying to make is the more difficult things you can take away from it to make it easier, the better. So when you think about, let's talk about a water maker. A water maker is a really good example of this. Cruising is hard, living on a boat is hard, especially in salt water. But if you have a water maker, it makes it 10% easier because you don't have to think about water. So I think anything you can do while you're cruising to remove one of your worries is good. It makes cruising that much better. And for me, electricity is the number one thing. I mean, outside of food. But if you can remove your electrical... What do they call that? When you have an electric car, you get battery stress. Like you drive it and you're like, oh my God, where's the battery? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Where's it going to die? If you can remove that particular that particular channel of stress, it makes cruising that much more enjoyable. So if you're going to go cruising and you're like, I could probably get by with 200 watts of solar. I'll probably be fine. Get 600 watts.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to.
Right.
You want to be able, for anybody listening, when they're designing their system, design it so you have a minimum of 3 days. That includes your batteries.
Yeah.
Whatever your power you generate on a cloudy, windless day.
Mm-hmm.
That way the wind gen's not working, the solar's barely working.
Yeah.
You need to be able to get through at least 3 days of that.
Yes.
At your current life in your living. If you don't have 3 days of that, you have a weakness somewhere. You need to address it. Mine currently, or at 270, I was on 5 days, but I didn't have fridge and freezer. Now that I've got that, there's no way that 270, it did not keep up in January.
270
when I was
watts.
going to the boat yard.
Right.
It could not keep up during the day. I was losing stored energy every day. I eventually turned it off for the last 2 days before I got to the boat yard. And then when you get to the boat yard, I plugged it into 110 and everything was fine.
Yeah, then you're good. Then you got to figure out how many days you got to stay there to get the batteries back to 100. Okay, let's talk about amp hours because we haven't really talked about that. So Lady K burned, I think, 180 amp hours in a 24-hour period. And that was the fridge, the freezer, this Dometic thing. Actually, you guys probably haven't seen this. I'm going to show you this. So, unplug the computer here. So this is the living room right now. We have the TV. We have sort of a living room. We have a couch here. There's the couch. We have a coffee table. But the coffee table is actually the Dometic. That's our fridge freezer from the boat. It's our coffee table right now. Okay, so when we added the Dometic fridge freezer, we increased our amp hours per 24-hour period. And I think that's important because a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, how much solar do I need? What kind of charger, inverter, all these things, what do I need? This Dometic fridge freezer, which is I mean, right here, there's crap on it, but it's a Dometic fridge freezer. It's about 3.5 feet long. Like, it's the big model. It was pulling about 6 amps per hour, even on duty cycle. Even on maybe it's well made, so it's probably got a 60% duty cycle, but it was still pulling about 6 amps per hour. So that's 6 amp hours every hour times 24 in a 24-hour cycle. It pulls a lot of power, and it's the most power your boat's going to pull. So a lot of people say, how much solar do I need, how much this and that. Wes, have you actually figured out what the boat needs, and how did you do that?
I have not. 9 years ago, I did all the math and everything, and tried to figure out, and it's looking well. 270 is the most I can fit on the Bimini. Didn't pursue it any further. After living here in the Keys and going to Dry Tortugas and back for 3 months, that very first season, I was like, I've got enough for now, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
That's where it comes, stepping back to when I'm saying you need 3 days. 5 days is what I had. You need a minimum of 3 days. If you got 3 days on a gray, cloudy sky with no wind, nothing else helping you, that's a lot of your stress gone.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, here comes a front. So, okay, you stop watching, the 24-inch monitor and the Apple computer and all that, and you start watching stuff on your phone.
I feel like you're making fun of me directly.
You don't want to be in the camping tent. You want to be out here watching on a full-size monitor and enjoying things and having your drink and having your cold but ice with you in your drink. That's what you want.
Yeah.
If you want to be tent camping, buy the 22-footer, do it for as long as you can take it, and then sell the 22-footer. Yeah.
Exactly. 100% exactly, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my point on it. But if yes, I'm 27 foot on the boat, and it's small, and there's a lot of luxuries I don't have compared to a 50-foot boat, of course. I also don't have the expenses. So
yeah.
I can enjoy life, and I have to decide, well, yeah, I mean, if I invited you and Candace over for dinner, I can pull out my Ralph Lauren plates. I got Ralph Lauren plates.
Oh, man.
I can do
Whoa.
all kinds of things like that.
You never invited us for that. Whoa. You know what, though? You know what I will say as far as dinner is concerned? The best dinner I've ever had in my entire life was with you. And it was in Bimini when we had the steak tacos. That is the best dinner I've had in my... I promise you that's the best dinner I've had in my whole life.
And what was our bartender's name? What was his name?
Oh, fuck, I have no idea. You were talking to him. I was just eating steak tacos.
Oh, God. They had more Havana Club rum than anybody else.
Yeah. In Bimini, in this little tiny community.
I finished off that, the Masters, Maestros. We finished off that bottle. He and I finished it off.
Yeah.
That was a blast. It really was.
That was like, I think for everybody watching, I think, how do you describe this, Wes? I don't even know. So, let me start. Candace and I went cruising, not knowing anybody, in sailing, not having sailed anywhere, not having done anything remarkable with our lives. We ended up in, southern section of the U.S., in the Bahamas. We had all these crazy experiences because of it. We met this guy, we met Wes, who's been going to the Bahamas for 9 years now, every single time, every year. And all of a sudden, our lives are so much more enriched now because we did it. And we had these, the rum, the tacos, all the crazy stuff. And now we can actually have this YouTube conversation because we did this thing.
Right. It's kind of like the night that you said you were missing wanted tacos. And David said, Sneaker can cook.
Yeah.
So I took the ball and ran with it. Next thing I know, we're on your catamaran having taco night.
Yeah. Like, we talked about having tacos because I love tacos. I love Mexican food. I'm huge on Mexican food. Mention of it.
We could have done it like in 2 days, but we were waiting on Candace to get back from Canada.
Yeah. So, somebody on a catamaran is like, fucking taco night. and we had pictures of it. And you're with other cruisers. Like, I think like the most amazing thing ever. You get cruisers together and things just happen.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like being in a community park where you don't get aggravated at everybody's little bitty nitpicky things.
Yeah.
Because the little nitpicky things are no longer important. It's like, go have a good time.
And at the end of the day, we're all just trying to stay alive because a blow comes through and they're like, oh shit, squall, and we're all in the same boat. Literally all in the same boat when there's a squall.
Yeah. So somebody drags and it's on the radio, and next thing you know, there's half dozen dinghies trying to save a boat.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever drove a catamaran was because of dragging, and I was the first one there. So I tied my dinghy to the back of it, I jumped up on there, I started the engines. Like, it is what it is.
And that was at South Monument or Honeymoon or something like that.
That was Monument. Yeah, it was Monument in
I was
Georgetown.
on top of the hill at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, so what's your YouTube channel? Go ahead.
The Salted Hippie.
The
You can find it by searching SB Gemini Dreams, The Salted Hippie, or any combination of that. I am not the boutique in Texas when you pop up Salted Hippie, and I'm the other one. And SB Gemini Dreams, there's a old online blog of early stuff. Back when my son lived aboard and was homeschooled, or we called it boat schooling, which worked out really good because he's now in pre-med. But yeah, there's an old blog. You just search it as one word, no spaces, sbgeminidreams.blogspot, and it'll pop up. So if you need to know any information about Vega, there's lots of links on the right-hand side to other Vegas. There's a bunch of information. 4 years ago when I bought brand new sails from Hyde Sails, Hyde's pricing in the top 10 to 12 U.S. sail makers. I listed all the prices they reported to me and what was covered under that. So, it's 4 years old now, but there's a lot of sail data on there. If you want to make a decision, narrow it down to 3 people to call instead of 12 people to call. And then you guys are on Lady K Sailing.
Yeah. It is what it is. Let's hope the fucking world continues after this,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Be nice to go get a hamburger without having to get a hamburger you got to take home and just get soggy on the way.
Hope you guys enjoyed this.
Peace out.
Yeah. If you stuck around for this long, we love you.
You.
Yeah.
You're definitely on lockdown.
Yeah, you're definitely on lockdown, isolation.
Yeah.
Stay safe, everybody.
Please.
Love thy neighbor. Do what you can for everybody else. Candace is making masks. I'm still going. Well, we're both going to work again now.
Yeah.
In an isolated sort of way. But anyway, we'll see you again next week. We're going to start boat work videos where we're going to actually start showing you Lady K needs a ton of work.
Oh my goodness.
And we're allowed to do that now. So that's the next video is going to be about boat work. So love you guys. Hit subscribe.
Ciao.
See ya.